Morning all. In this video, I will explain about concept application exercise 3 questions based on electric field intensity. See the first question. A point charge 50 microcoulomb is located in the xy plane at the position vector 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. The electric field at the point of position vector r bar equal to 8 I cap minus 5 j cap in vector form is equal to. See here in the question it is given that a 50 microcoulomb charge was given. It was placed at which point? 2, 3. The coordinate point for that is 2, 3, but it was written in the form of vectors only. So what is the position of charge here? Position of charge can be taken as 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. Here how much charge was placed? 50 microcoulomb, that is 50 into 10 power minus 6 coulomb. That much charge was placed at this particular point. And due to this, some electric field will be generated. And inside that electric field region, some other point was given. What is the point? 8 I cap minus some other point. Anyway, somewhere you can consider here. That is 8 I cap minus 5 j cap. One point was taken. And the question is, due to the charge, this 50 microcoulomb, what is the electric field intensity at this point? That part you have to calculate here. So to calculate that, I think all of you know the formula that, what is the formula for electric field intensity due to a point charge? That is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square. And of course, they're asking to write in vector form only, so that it is always along the line joining, so that you can write r cap. Now, first of all, 1 by 4 pi epsilon, it is a constant value. We know that q value is given. R value you have to find out. That is the distance between, R is the distance between these 2 points only. Okay. Now, but in vector form, if you want to find out, so r bar in the sense, the distance r bar between these two. Here you are calculating electric field intensity. Let me consider this is 0.1, this is 0.2. If you write like that, you have to calculate electric field intensity at 0.2 due to 0.1 only, so that r also you can consider r21. So that is nothing but R2 bar minus R1 bar. See here, electric field due to, here you have to calculate electric field at 0.2. Electric field at 0.2 due to 0.1. So that is equal to R2 bar minus R1 bar. So R2 bar value is 8 I cap minus 5 j cap minus R1 bar is 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. And this is equal to 8 I cap minus 2 I cap will be 6 I cap minus 5 j cap minus 3 j cap. Totally it is minus 8 j cap. This is the total vector. But if you want to find out only the magnitude, that is equal to root over 6 square plus 8 square, which is equal to 10 only, 10 meters. And if you want to know about the direction, that is r cap. R cap is nothing but r bar by magnitude only, that is modulus r bar. So what is r bar we got? 6 I cap minus 8 j cap by 10. So, and we know the values of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught and q, and r square value means r value we have here, that is 10, and r cap value also we have here. So directly you can substitute all these values in the given formula. Okay, then so what is the formula here? E equal to, E bar equal to, you can write E bar equal to E bar equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught value is 9 into 10 power 9 into charge Q is given 50 microcoulomb, that is 50 into 10 power minus 6 by R square. R is given on R, we got 100 only, 10 only, no? So R square will be 100. That is into R cap value you have to write here, that is 6 I cap minus 8 J cap by 10. Then if we just multiply here, 50 2 is 100 only. So this is 9 by 2 into 10, 20. That is 9 by 20 into 10 power 9 into 10 power minus 6 will be 10 cube. And 6 I cap minus 8 J cap. If 2 is taken common, you will get 3 I cap minus 4 J cap. So finally it is 2 10 J. And now you can write. So this is 10 only, na? Finally 9 into 10 cube by 10, that is 10 square into 3 I cap minus 4 J cap. So this is finally 900 into 3 I cap minus 4 J cap. So that is the final value for electric field intensity at a point 2 as I considered due to the charge placed at point 1. What is the charge? 50 microcoulomb. The answer is 900 into 3 I cap minus. Question number 2. Two concentric rings, one of radius r and total charge plus q, and the second of radius 2r and total charge minus root 8q, lie in xy plane, that is z equal to 0 is taken here at center. The common center of rings lies at origin and the common axis coincides with z axis. The charge is uniformly distributed on both rings. At what distance from origin is the net electric field on z axis is 0. See here. Here two concentric rings were taken. For the first ring, radius was taken r and charge was uniformly distributed, and which is equal to plus q. And for second ring, the charge is minus root 8 into q and the radius of the ring is 2r. And in this particular case, both are in xy plane only. Both the rings are concentric and they are in xy plane. And you have to calculate where the electric field intensity is 0 on axis, that is along z axis. So whenever a ring is taken, and if you want to calculate electric field intensity at a point on the axis of ring, what is the general formula we derived in the regular class? That is E equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught qx by x square plus r square whole power 3 by 2. That is the general formula we use to calculate the electric field intensity on axial line. So see here. So for both of them you apply here. For example, if this positive charge is taken, first ring is due to that ring, the electric field will be away from positive. If you consider the second one, which is having some negative charge, that will produce the electric field towards the ring only. So there is some possibility somewhere. If the electric field intensity due to positive ring and negatively charged ring, if both are equal and opposite, of course opposite because both are having opposite charges, if they are, then the resultant will be 0 at any point on the z axis. That point, where that point will be from origin, the distance they are asking us to calculate. So see here, by using this formula for both the cases, you have to use this formula and you can equate both of them. See here. For the first ring, I will consider. For the first ring, electric field intensity 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q. Of course, the charge in the first ring is q only. The distance x that you have to find out, and x square plus r square means the radius of first ring was also r only, so that you can write r square whole power 3 by 2. and due to the second ring, outer ring, if you want to calculate, that is again 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. What is the charge here? Of course, that is negative charge. Root 8q into distance is same, that x only you have to find out, by x square plus, and the radius of the second ring is 2r, na? So the 2r whole square will be 4r square. Whole power 4r square whole power 3 by 2. So these two electric field intensities, you have to equate them. Then by solving that, you will get the answer here. Just a minute. Now you see here, both you can equate here, both of them. So by equating them, of course, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, qx will be cancelled there. The remaining one will be 1 by x square plus r square whole power 3 by 2 equal to, here it is root 8 by x square plus 4r square whole power 3 by 2. But both the equations are in terms of whole power 3 by 2. Na? So you can just take whole power 2 by 3 for all of them. So if you take whole power 2 by 3 for one, that is 1 only. For this factor, if you take whole power 2 by 3, 3 by 2 and 2 by 3 will get cancelled. So only it will remain x square plus r square. In the same way for root 8 whole power 2 by 3, root 8 whole power 2 by 3 in the sense root 8 whole square and power 1 by 3. Root 8 whole square is 8. Power 1 by 3 is 2. So root 8 whole power 2 by 3 will become 2 only. By this will also become x square plus 4r square. By taking cross multiplication here, you will get x square plus 4r square equal to 2x square plus 2r square. And finally, you have to find out x value only, na? So that x square is equal to 4r square minus 2r square, that is 2r square. And finally, x is equal to root 2 into r. At what distance on the z-axis you will have zero electric field intensity? At a distance root 2 into r only. Okay. Next, see the third question. Well, if you see the third question. Well, if you read the question once. Question number 3. A particle of mass 2 kg and charge 1 millicoulomb is projected vertically with a velocity 10 meter per second. There is a uniform horizontal electric field of 104 Newton per coulomb. So this is the information given in the question. and we have to find out here the horizontal range of the particle and also time of flight of the particle. Okay, now see. So the given information in the question is, so mass of the particle is given 2 kg and charge of the particle is given 1 millicoulomb. That means 1 into 10 power minus 3 coulomb. And velocity, vertical velocity is given. Y component of velocity you can take it as, then it is 10 meter per second. And also electric field intensity given, which is acting horizontally. That means only along x-axis, let me consider. Then it is 104 Newton per Coulomb. So this is the information given in the question. And how the particle was projected? The particle was projected vertically upward direction. It is vertically in upward direction. So whenever a particle is projected like this, basically because of gravity, what will happen? It will go to certain height and again it will come down. But along with the gravitational force, horizontally some electric field is acting, which can influence this positive charge, which can bring this positive charge along the same direction. So the particle will have now the particle will have the velocity in both the directions, along horizontal direction and also along vertical direction. Along vertical direction, what is the acceleration? That is g only. Of course, while it is moving up, minus g, while it is coming down, plus g. Along the horizontal, you will have the acceleration which is equal to EQ by m. Whenever any particle is placed in uniform electric field, what will happen? Then it will just have the motion along the same direction of electric field if it is positive charge. And acceleration formula is EQ by m only. So horizontally it is uniform accelerated motion. Vertically also it is uniform accelerated motion. First of all, to calculate time of flight, what is the general formula for time of flight? In general, it can be taken as 2 u sin theta by g. It is 2 u sin theta by g, but here u sin theta means y component only. U y by g. So 2 into what is y component of velocity given? 10 by 10. Totally how much time it will take? 2 seconds. So time of flight will be 2 seconds in this particular case. And second one is about horizontal range. Horizontal range. That means horizontally how much distance it travels. If there is no force acting along horizontal direction, simply we can consider u square sine 2 theta by g like that, or 2 into x component of velocity into y component of velocity by g. But this is not like that. Horizontal motion is also uniform accelerated motion. So general formula you can use for distance traveled. For uniform accelerated motion, what is the formula we use here? S equal to ut plus half at square. S means that is the range, horizontal distance only. And initial velocity, vertically initial velocity is given 10. But horizontally, there is no initial velocity. No? That means horizontally initial velocity is said to be 0. Because the particle was projected only along vertical direction. Plus half into, what is acceleration? Along horizontal acceleration is EQ by m. EQ by m into, for how much time it travels? For how much time the particle will be in air. That means while it is going up and coming down, that much time the particle will move forward. So what is the time? Time of flight we calculated 2 only. Na? So into 2 square. So by substituting the values here, half into electric field is given how much? 104. Half into 104 into, what is the charge Q? It is 10 power minus 3 by mass is given 2 kg. Of course, all are in SI units only. 2 square will be 4. So finally it will be how much? 2 into 2, 4 and 4 will get cancelled. This will be 104 into, I think it is 10 power 4, not 104. In the question also it should be 10 power 4. So that if you write here 10 power 4, 10 power 4 into 10 power minus 3 will be 10 only. Range only, na? So that answer is 10 meters. So time of flight we got the answer 2 seconds and range, horizontal range is 10 meters. Okay. So again I will explain that how the particle was projected. Particle was projected vertically upward direction. But since electric field is acting in horizontal direction, along horizontally also it will have some motion. So horizontal motion is uniform accelerated, vertical also uniform accelerated. So in both the cases, we just have taken the common formulae and we just could calculate the two things, time of flight and horizontal range. Question number 4. A lightweight particle of charge Q is placed at one end of an electrically insulated uniform elastic rod of natural length L, cross-section area A, and Young's modulus Y. The rod is placed in space having uniform electric field of magnitude E and directed parallel to length of the rod as shown. Neglecting gravity, the magnitude of extension in this rod is. See here, a long rod is taken whose length is L only, and on the whole rod, at one end of the rod, charge Q was placed here, and an electric field is acting along the length of rod. Then what will happen when electric field is acting? This electric field can apply some force on the charge only. Then what is the electric force acting on the charge? The electric force acting on the charge will be EQ. But whenever some electric force is acting here at the end point, some tension will create. If it is one end is fixed here, let me consider. Tension will be created here. So tension will be created in the rod and expansion will be there. So the tension is not same at every point of the rod. Throughout the length of the rod, tension will not be same. Tension will be more at this point and some more less at this point, some more less at this point. That means while you are going to the other end, what will happen here? Here, the tension value will decrease. So if tension is uniform, if it is completely massless rod, then you can directly take tension T only everywhere. Then F equal to EQ you can consider which is equal to tension. But it is having some mass only. It is not massless rod. Massless rod was not given. So that you have to calculate or you have to consider a small element here whose length is dx and at a distance x from this particular point where some force F is acting here. What is the force F acting here? F equal to EQ. In this particular case, you have to calculate tension at this element at a distance x only. How can you calculate tension here? And we should know here tension is directly proportional to x. That means tension is linearly varying. Tension is varying linearly. In this particular case, for example, here the tension is a T and here the tension is F equal to EQ, the same thing, plus you can write here total force acting per unit length, that is F by L, at what distance we are taken? X only. So this will be the total force here. If here the tension is a T plus what will be the added tension for this part of the rod only? That is force per unit length into the length only. So this total will be the total force F equal to EQ. In this particular case, what we can write for T? T is nothing but F minus Fx by L. Now, if you consider equation for Young's modulus, What is the equation for Young's modulus? It is stress by strain. Stress means that is force per unit area. Strain means change in length by initial length. You can also write it as F by A into L by delta L. So finally, y equal to what you can write? FL by A delta L. But here the question is the magnitude of extension they are asking. That means delta L we have to find out. So delta L when it comes to this side, delta L is equal to F L by A y. This is the general formula we can write for delta L. But here, this F is not uniform everywhere. F is changing from one part to another part. The expansion is occurred because of the whole rod, not due to only single point here. So that you have to take here a small element dx only for the formula. Length means only you have to consider dx here. Okay. For dx length, the extension you have to see here. Now, you can write for delta L. Delta L is nothing but tension into x by ay. A small part if you consider here tension, and here for this particular length, what is dx? T dx by ay. That is the formula for expansion delta L. Only for small part you have to consider. Now you have to use an integration method. Integration from which point to which point here? From 0 to L only. Integration from 0 to L. So, integral this particular expansion is equal to integral T dx by area into Young's modulus. Of course, area and Young's modulus are same only, but what is the formula for tension we have taken? Tension equal to F minus Fx by L. In place of T, you can write F minus Fx by L into dx. And then this is equal to 1 by ay integral F dx minus integral Fx by L into dx. This is equal to 1 by ay into, so for the first one, it is also from 0 to L, it is also from 0 to L. Then it will be F into, what is integration for dx? X only, from 0 to L. Minus, F by L is constant here. What is integral x dx? That is x square by 2. It is also from 0 to L. And finally, 1 by ay into, by substituting upper and lower limits, you will get L here minus F by 2 also you can write here 2L. By substituting upper and lower limits, you will get L only. So this is equal to 1 by ay FL minus 1 L and L will get cancelled here. So FL by 2. And finally it will be 1 by ay into FL by 2. And it is FL by 2ay. But what is the force here? The force acting on the charge is due to electric field. So in place of F you can write EQ only. So EQL by 2ay. So that is the total expansion in this particular given rod only. Okay. So you can see it again. What was given? Here, this particular rod was placed in electric field, uniform electric field only. But the whole rod is not charged. The charge was placed only at one end of the rod only. Then the force acting on the rod is equal to EQ. Because of that particular force, at every point of the rod, there will be some expansion. But there will not be equal expansion at every part. While you are going away from this charged point, then the tension will decrease, so expansion also will decrease. So that if you consider a small element of the rod dx at a distance x,
then you have to calculate tension at this particular part. If this part, at this particular part, if tension is a T plus, and this tension varies linearly with X only, no? So that force per unit length into that X distance, that will be added from this point to this point. So totally T plus Fx by L equal to the total force acting here, that is F only. So T equal to F minus Fx by L. We know the general formula for expansion by using Young's modulus formula. So based on that, we have taken here. Based on that, we have taken here delta L equal to T dx by Ay, and T value is substituted from this equation by taking integration from first point to last point of the rod, that is 0 to L. You will get this equation finally, that is EQL by 2AY. Question number 5. Consider two thin uniformly charged concentric shells of radii R and 2R having charges Q and minus Q respectively as shown. 3 points A, B and C are marked at distances R by 2, 3R by 2 and 5R by 2 respectively from their common center. So this is the information given in the question, and also the diagram was shown here. And finally you have to find out electric field intensities at points A, B and C, what the relations they are having. Okay, see the first one. If I just consider point A, where was the point A? It is inside the first ring and also inside the second ring. When any type of these type of rings are taken, rings are spheres, concentric shells, that means spheres were taken. Inside the concentric shell, that means inside a hollow sphere, electric field intensity is always 0. So that point A is inside the first sphere and also inside the second sphere. So total electric field at A will be 0 due to first one and 0 also due to outer one. And if I come to the second one, electric field intensity at point B. See here at point B, this point is at a point outside for the inner shell and inside for the outer shell. So inside the shell E bar 0 now, so that E bar due to outer shell is 0. But E bar due to inner shell you can calculate. What is the formula for E bar due to inner shell at a point outside? That is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Charge by R square. That means distance is given from this point to B. The distance is given here, that is 3R by 2. For the second one it is given 3R by 2. This will be 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2Q by 3R. That's it, 2Q by 3R. And due to outer shell it will be 0 only. So that I have not taken that. And finally, electric field intensity at a point C, which is outside, which is outside to both the shells. Then see, due to the first one, what is the formula? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught charge by distance only. What is the distance here? Here to the point C, the distance is given 5R by 2. And due to the second one, that is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by, it is also at the from center. Here also distance is same only. What is that? 5R by 2. But the first charge is on the first shell, on the inner shell, the charge is Q. On the outer shell, the charge is minus Q. That means electric field intensity due to the inner shell is equal and opposite to the electric field due to outer shell. So the resultant will be 0. So for both point A and point C, we got the total electric field intensity equal to 0. But point B is having some electric field intensity which is greater than 0. So that we can write the relation here. EB is greater than EA. And of course, EA equal to EC. Na? So you can write the relation EB is greater than EA equal to C. From this question, and this question is given based on the point that inside a spherical shell, electric field is equal to 0. And outside the spherical shell, electric field is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square, of course. You have to write square here. Okay.